But Dylan was deeply disgusted by this situation. At a politically charged award ceremony, he appeared disheveled on stage and delivered a provocative speech. He said, "I'm just trying to climb higher," completely disregarding politics. Such trivial matters. My songs represent nobody but myself, yet his provocation backfired. Instead of being angered, people saw him as ahead of his time. This experience changed Dylan's approach to the public. He stopped self-revelation, responding to interviews either with brutal retorts or absurd answers. When asked about his ideals, he said, "I just want a meat grinder." Told to address fans, he said, "Good luck to all." Pressed on Vietnam War views. "It's absurd to ask a singer about social issues," he said. Behind these public sarcasms, Dylan was brewing a major rebellion. From 1961 to 1964, he had completed his journey of discovering, mastering, and transcending folk music. Though people wanted him to keep singing for civil rights, Dylan refused to pander or stagnate musically. In July 1965, at Newport Folk Festival, Dylan performed 3 rock songs causing massive controversy. Through this near-prankish act, he violently shed his protest singer label and transformed popular music. The 3 songs were Maggie's Farm, Like a Rolling Stone, and Phantom Engineer, with Like a Rolling Stone becoming rock's most influential masterpiece, performed over 2,000 times in concerts. That is it, especially because of the Gamble Brea incident. This song was written in early 1965. Its lyrics adapted from Dylan's prose about Miss Lonely's story. A girl from high society, well-educated and fashionable, later fell into destitution, struggling for daily bread. The song's brilliance lies in its relentless chorus questioning, how does it feel to be homeless, penniless, like a rolling stone? For listeners, this "how does it feel" substitutes life's emotional spectrum: success, downfall, praise, pain, betrayal. These lyrics marked Dylan's shift from political themes to exploring human psyche. Musically, Dylan found rock more powerful than folk. Explosive rhythms and gravelly emotional complexity, paired with rockers' sneer, better conveyed his mix of mockery, pity, and rage toward Miss Lonely. This song became Dylan's creative breakthrough. He discovered new synergy between words and music, mastering rock's emotional language. Folk remained an option, but not the only one. Excited by this discovery, Dylan rushed to perform live, but unprepared fans caused chaos. Audiences booed loudly, showering the stage with jeers. The folk community then deeply despised rock music. Early 1960s, rock was seen as commercialized trash, glorifying cars and girls. Folk opposed commercialization, valuing lyrical substance. From stage to attire, authenticity was mandatory. To folk purists, electric bands and stage antics represented vulgar sellouts. They deemed Dylan's act as betrayal, defiling America's folk heritage. Today, we recognize Dylan's rebellion as revolutionary. He pioneered fusing rock with folk traditions. His introspective lyrics enriched rock's depth, influencing Beatles and Rolling Stones, making rock the most powerful art form that reshaped global culture. No one anticipated this shift. Dylan's fans were furious at his transformation. How furious exactly? After Newport, fans followed his 9-month tour across 8 countries just to boo and disrupt his rock performances. Never before had a musician provoked such collective rage, yet Dylan stood firm. When heckled, he cranked amplifiers to drown out crowds. When interrupted, he improvised new verses on stage. This became his laboratory to test artistic limits. Success remained debatable, though every show sold out, becoming music history's most analyzed performances. The intense energy output, creative pressure, and psychological toll ravaged Dylan's health. He stopped sleeping, chain smoked, drank heavily, and abused pills. At 25, he became a gaunt specter, with many predicting his onstage death as rock's martyr. Then came the motorcycle crash. Thrown from his bike, skull hitting pavement, neck vertebrae shattered. Making immobilized in hospital, his manic chapter ended. The crash yanked Dylan from the abyss. Next, he reinvented himself as country musician. His gentle country songs became 1970s spiritual balm. The motorcycle accident forced Dylan to halt his tour. He vanished from public eye for 17 months of seclusion. His disappearance was so complete that death rumors spread. Dylan survived, using the crash to reassess life. I stopped chasing chaos, sought simple routines instead. Dreamt of white picket fences, rose gardens, and built exactly that. 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Dylan didn't write a single song about this, shelving his wandering persona that once challenged injustices worldwide. He retreated from public life, raising 5 children as a devoted family man. His children still regard him as an extraordinary father to this day. This emotional shift manifested in country music, celebrating domestic bliss and simple pleasures. So, my pickup, do we know? We are the world's masters in this. Tonight I belong to you. His vocal delivery noticeably softened during this phase. The gentle rhythms and romantic themes marked radical departure from his past works. This quest for serenity eventually led to religious conversion. In 1979, Dylan publicly embraced Christianity and released gospel albums. Take Every Grain of Sand, In the Time of My Confession, depicting spiritual struggle through fallen sparrows and cosmic dust. Every Grain of Sand became definitive of this era, meditations on love and repentance. This song was Steve Jobs' favorite, played at his memorial service. Dylan described his religious awakening mysteriously. A fan threw a cross on stage. Normally I'd ignore it, but somehow pocketed it that night. A waiter in his hotel, he claimed experiencing Jesus' touch so powerfully it made him tremble. Though still respected, his post-crash work never matched earlier brilliance, mirroring America's cultural shift. The activist 60s had ended, leaving civil rights warriors emotionally drained. The public now craved gentle emotional nourishment above all. Dylan's romantic works perfectly met public emotional needs, easing tensions with media and fans. Approaching 40, Dylan stopped seeking validation. Glory and slander became irrelevant as he sang his truth. One final barrier remained: overcoming creative stagnation. Though rejecting the protest singer label, the turbulent 60s had fueled his inspiration. By the 80s, with social movements fading, Dylan hit creative roadblocks. During recording, a creatively drained Dylan fled the studio. In a dive bar, he watched an unknown singer perform with serene confidence. The band's casual setup under soft stage lights sparked memories. This mirrored his early days playing nameless bars. Pure joy in singing. Dylan realized his soul needed revival through wandering and singing freely. No hesitation, he halted new recordings, reworked old songs, and launched endless world tours. Since 1988, he's performed annually, some years exceeding 100 shows. Fans call it the Endless Banquet Tour, slowing new works but refining existing ones. At 65 in 2006, Dylan released Modern Times. The power of pollution, time's gone down, man's gotten a shadow in me, sucking on that blues. Working Man's Blues shows folk revival. The album blends rock-era existentialism with folk social commentary. Modern Times top charts and won Grammy's Album of the Year. When pressed about song meanings, Dylan replied, "I'd have made this record regardless of world events. These songs came through me in trance-like states, not deliberate creation." Dark developments approach unnoticed. 2015's Shadows in the Night featured covers of 1940s to 50s folk classics from his youth. This was seen as Dylan's musical homecoming and graceful farewell to public. Billboard's verdict: a mediocre singer, passable guitarist, exceptional harmonica player, superb composer, lyrical genius. Dylan self-assessed, "I once believed my linguistic gifts were sublime and omnipotent. Now I know my verses can't think for you. May you have clouds that ladder to the stars. Walk with truth and moral compass. May light attend your every step. Joy overflow your heart. Stay forever young." This concludes our exploration of Dylan's Song of the Poet. Find steady notes below the audio. Until tomorrow. When rains become tears, eras transform. May you stay? Clouds whisper, not yet.